So before we start, it's important for me to say that we are tuned down to A standard. So instead of E, we're tuned down 3.5 semitones, with the lowest string being A, second string being D. And then I'm using pretty heavy flat wound strings. Okay, so in this first part, we're going to put our second finger on the 8th fret, and then we're going to do a harmonic on the 7th. So it goes. So that's the first part. So first you're going to play the bass note, plays on the 8th fret and then the 5th fret. But you'd still do the harmonic on the 7th. And to be honest, this was kind of tricky to get. I will say this is maybe the hardest song for me to learn by Mkgee, just because you have to hold down the bass notes so they ring out. You shouldn't. I really messed up there. You shouldn't hit the bass string too hard, because a lot of the Mkgee sound is sort of playing with dynamics and playing sort of this way between loud and soft. So being able to hold this one down and then doing that one without, because it's easy to have it open. And then so you're doing that twice. You play. So after you play that twice, then in this sort of pause before we play the melody, I turn on the synth here, the VG8. So you're coming out of the first part. So when I'm coming out of the first part, turning the VG8 on, and then I'm just raking using my thumb. I've seen in some of the videos, I think Mkgee does the same thing, or maybe he just pulls like that, doesn't really matter. It really helps to have the Porta Studio just cranked for that, and also the VG8 helps. So then you start playing the melody. So you're playing like the first part. So we're doing on the G string 7 to 9 to 10 to 7 5. You could play it. Some people do, but I kind of like it more that it's more of a linear, it's not like on one string. It keeps sort of the vocal quality, I think, of the song. And then now we're not doing 3 strings, so now we're doing the bass on the 5th and on the 3rd, and then we're doing harmonics on the 7th and on the 5th. And I'm only using I'm only doing the 2 middle strings, so the D and the G string. And when you see Mkgee on top of that bus when he's doing it live, it's a bit hard to tell if he's actually pull in all 3 strings, but it was sort of easier for me. Sort of easier for me to do it with just these 2, and it seems like the one that really matters, which is sort of the melody or what's ringing out on top, is this G string. So and then I'm hammering off ba boom boom ba boom boom ba boom boom boom. So that's the first part of the melody. The second part is so here we're doing the same as in the beginning, and then we're playing the 7 to the 9, 9 to 10. I'm not completely sure if he's playing 9 to 10 there. It sounded the best way to me. So that's the 2 parts. Have you decided? Have you decided there's no love for you? Alright, so then in the next section, I think this might be the trickiest part of the whole song, because you have to do sort of a long stretch, and I don't have the longest fingers in the world. Not really like Jimi Hendrix. So here we're playing the what would be the F in a normal, so the first string, first fret, and then we're pulling the harmonic on the 5th. So for me, I have to sort of lay my elbow down and then stretch my fingers, I would say almost as far as it goes. So this is the, I think I spent a lot of time on this part because it's pretty tricky. And it's same like ba 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 bum boom ba ba bum boom 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 bum bum boom 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 bum boom bum bum. And between those 2, I'm doing the slide from the on the A string from the 5th to the 7th. So, and then first string on the 3rd fret. And then now we're back to the first part. So now we're playing the. And now we're going to do sort of a run down. So we're playing the B string on the 6th and the 8th fret. And then we're doing a kind of a cool chord right there, like flat 13, flat 6. On the 5th string, on the 5th string, the bass is on the 5th fret, and then the D string is on the 3rd fret, and the G string is on the 5th fret. So it's so the last one is on, it's sort of like a G shape. Some people might have you know, if you know your cage system, this is like a, so it's, so then for this last part, after we have gone down, we're playing what would be sort of like an F, then hammering off on the G string, 2nd fret. So. For this, I'm playing 2 strings at all times on this high part right here. And then it goes back to the shape that we played before, this kind of G shape. And here you can kind of have fun because you can do the same sort of slide from the 5th to the 7th. These are the same notes. So you can do that slide there as well. If you want me to do an in-depth video on how to get these guitar tones, then please leave a comment below.